Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Mobi. I'm Dr. Mobi, and today we have an excellent guest, CJ Lopez. Let's welcome CJ. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Dr. Moby, for having me on. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And tell us about your accomplishment and what do you do normally?
Normally, I work on books. I do publishing. I also have my company, ILO Multimedia, where I help other authors become published, promote them, and do graphic design and video production.
Okay, so you do graphic designing and video. So tell us about some of the graphic design work. Do you do just movies or serials or just commercial?
So I'm focused around is giving back to the community. So most of my graphic design is for our sister show that we have, where we are building awareness in the community to help people get off the streets. And that is all based off of my sister and her life of addiction and living on the streets for many years, in which we wrote a book about. So all of my graphic design and video production currently is feeding into our sister show that we have right now online, which will turn into a sister house where we can physically feed people, bring them in, and help them find resources to get off the streets.
Oh, that is so commendable. So you're saying that your family member had sister had drug addiction problem. So tell us a little bit about that. When did it start?
Yes, so my sister Mel, that's what we call her, Mel. We all like to abbreviate our names. She is one phenomenal individual. She is my big sister. She has been my inspiration through most of my life. She started down her road of drug addiction at the age of 15 is when it started. Um, we didn't realize what it was. We didn't realize that she was struggling internally with mental health problems. And we just shook it off as that she was going through normal teenager issues. At the
Mhm.
age of 19, I left home, and it was about when she started becoming deep in her addiction. I joined the military. I left for the Air Force. Through my time in the military, I didn't go home very much because of her being in drugs. I would hear the stories. She was on the streets. She was overdosing a lot. She lost her 3 children. She was struggling, and to hear about my big sister going through that, somebody that I looked up to, it was very hard in home. Fast forward a year ago, we had talked off and on, we kept in touch, but a year ago we got back in full touch and we decided we wanted to be those same two little girls that were thick as thieves that could never be separated because through our childhood traumas that we dealt with, which was substance abuse from parents and
Mhm.
um, domestic abuse, violence that our mother had went through, we wanted to be together again. We wanted to be thick as thieves, for lack of better words. So we started doing this thing called the Sister Show, Sister Live Show. And we started just talking about whatever. We started telling the survivor story. We started bringing in resources. And I said, Mel, I want to hear your story. I want to hear all the things you went through because I don't even know over the past 20 years of your addiction what you had to face in your life. You heard my stories, what I had to face in the military for 20 years and all the things that I went through, but I don't know what you went through.
Mhm.
So we sat down and we recorded 3 different times. As she told me, we had to break it up. It was very emotional for both of us. And we wrote a book about it. The darkest places that she went to through the violence that she went through, living on the streets, her addiction. Um, there was so much. There was domestic abuse, there was domestic violence, there was sexual violence, just everything. And then it was just this closeness that we got from it. It was more of therapy than anything. And we wanted to share that with people to let them know that no matter what you've been through, you can recover.
Mhm.
You are still accepted in this world and you can have a good life. And there are people out there just like you that have been there,
Mhm.
and you can come into a space that you are loved and
Mhm.
everybody loves you.
Mhm. And that is, such a great thing. First of all, I commend you for taking care of your family, and I'm sure that means a lot for them and for you too. It's a lot of things. We talk about, and we say, a lot of people I see, they go to charities and do things outside, but they forget about their family, their loved ones, their friends, their neighbors, they're close by. And that is sad. I believe if we just start with that, neighborhood, family, friends, there will not be anybody left to be helped. Pretty much, we'll all take care of our, loved ones. And but unfortunately, that is sad. But I commend you that you have done excellent job with that. I'm sure she's very appreciative of your work, right?
Well, this work, it wasn't something that I had the foresight to do on my own. It was because of her and because of the strong women in my family. I am just able to talk a lot. That is,
Uh-huh.
I've been given the gift of gab. But in 2019, last year, right after we decided to do this, we got a call. Um, sorry, our cousin.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
take your
sorry.
time. Take your time. That's okay.
She lost her life to domestic violence.
Oh, sorry.
So that is something that has hit every single woman in my family
Oh.
is some form of domestic violence, whether it is emotional or physical.
Mhm.
And that is another reason why we wanted to create this space for everybody, because the people that are living on the streets have been through some type of mental health break 90% of the time that has put them in a space where they don't have anywhere else to go, or they don't want to go anywhere else.
Mhm.
So that is what has compelled us. And my sister Mel, now every Sunday, she goes out into the community and they cook all morning long, and they go out and they are feeding people. They've got donations coming in from friends and family. It's great. And they're giving them socks, and they're giving people blankets and sleeping bags. And the most miraculous thing is, last week she ran into one of our own family members out there on the streets,
Wow.
and she gave her a plate of food, and they said a prayer together. And it's miraculous that we're able to do that in our own community. I'm
Mhm.
here in Texas. She's up in Indiana. That's where we're originally from. So I do all of the online business stuff here so that I can feed into what she's doing back in the community,
Mhm.
because she's really my hero and somebody that gives me the inspiration to write her memoir. That's what we started with. We will be coming out within a year. Um, our next book, which will be the Sister Sister live show book, which is our journey of how we created a virtual sister house. And
Mhm.
hopefully by the time it comes out, we'll have a physical sister house.
Oh.
And just what she does every single day. And I thought that the story was my story, right? I thought that the story was me, my 20 years in the military, the places that I've been, the people that I saw, standing there arm in arm with the women in Kosovo and how the things that they had been through. I thought that that was the story. I thought that that was amazing. And
Mhm.
then I listened to my sister's story. I listened to what she had been through, and she showed me the kindness of people, just everyday lives. It doesn't have to be anything other than the very person that you sit next to every single day in your own family that you don't pay attention to, like you said, or the person living on the streets that you never sat and had a conversation with. That is the most extraordinary story ever.
And that is true. First of all, I'm gonna commend you to for sharing. It means a lot, to come up with that courage to share their loved ones. And I can tell you, it's gonna bring such a good change. People will learn from you. There are people, unfortunately, still out there still consider mental health stigma, and if they have in their loved one, they would not mention that, or they would ignore that and they would not meet them. Actually, that is sad. Lot of cure or lot of prognosis of mental health and other disorders depend on family support. So if we have family support and we are helping each other, uh, we can really make a big difference. Unfortunately, we are problem also for a lot of people, but we can also cure a lot of problems too, because we like you said, there is domestic violence. So another person or somebody else is a problem, but the help is also from loved ones, and that's what actually helps to recover that. It can never be forgotten, but I'm sure it helps to heal some of the wounds or some of the stress they went through. Myself, I've served in VA and DoD and Bundi Warrior program, as well as so I know very well about PTSD, multiple traumas, and those are really underlooked. Unfortunately, there was a time when for PTSD in DoD they used to think it is nothing, and now there is more awareness, right? Their mental health is coming more and more. It is sad, we live in this modern technology, and we have more homeless, we have more people on the street, we have more, and that could be our loved ones too. They are not different. They are actually one of us too. So I'm sure no everybody's look at them and say, oh, they are, not uh, good people. They are our family too, right? And then, like you said, they shared some of those family members shared food with them and tried to figure out what went wrong. So I'm sure that was more rewarding for both parties, right?
Yes, and growing up, we had a very tumultuous relationship with our family, and it was a lot of back and forth between our mother and our father, and they did what the best they
Mhm.
could, and we loved them tremendously. But there was a lot of things we didn't understand, and which led me to leaving at the age of 19.
Mhm.
And my mom, right before she turned 40, was diagnosed as bipolar disorder. And it
Mhm.
all started making sense. It all started making sense. I left home because I didn't understand why things were the way they were. And I thought it's just too wild, too crazy. People are yelling all the time, fighting all the time. I don't understand why that would be normal.
Uh,
And because I didn't understand so much, and I wanted to know so much more about myself and how my brain reacted to stuff, I when I went to college, I said I want to study psychology. I need to understand my brain. So I went and got my degree in psychology, my undergraduate degree in psychology, and it helped me understand so much. But it also brought me to the awareness that the stigma around mental health and the acceptance is almost like the 1800s when they did horrible experiments on humans to figure out what was going on with them. And it makes me want to sit down and have more conversations with people, because it's not always a pill, it's not always psychoanalytical that is needed. Sometimes people just want to talk, and that's it. And sometimes it can be that simple, sometimes not so much. But I'm finding that in a world so busy with a million and one things going on,
mhm.
just sitting down and turning everything off and having a conversation with somebody can be the difference between life and death sometimes.
Mhm, mhm. And that is so true. We don't think that actually words can make or break someone. So, if we, those encouraging words and with COVID, one thing about COVID, I would say, with COVID, this has put at highlight of all everything. I think people used to ignore that, and now with COVID, they realize they are the only ones, they have each other. Okay, so we have only friends, family, and loved ones. That's to care about. Everything else, everything on social media, everything else doesn't matter. If you just ignore those main things, then unfortunately it doesn't matter you have 10,000 people on social media. It doesn't matter really. Because those are, I mean, it does on the other hand, but to loved ones, to save somebody's life, your words actually make a big difference, right? And that's
Yes, and yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
Yeah, and when COVID happened, is really when I feel that my life picked back up, when my life started again. I suffer from social anxiety, and you wouldn't think about it as easy as I am to just talk. But talking in front of a computer to another person, I feel that degree of separation and I feel comfortable. Talking in person, I get extremely nervous and I just don't like to physically be around people very often. And that's why, like I said, I do the business side and my sister does the in person side. And it's not anything that, because I don't like people, because I love people, I thrive on people. It's just a social anxiety thing that I deal with personally every single day. But when COVID happened, I had more family time. Finally, my kids came home. My son came home from college. My husband was here. My daughter was here. We were all stuck in the house together. We were playing board games, and I had a senior in high school and a college grade student. And I felt like my life really started to begin again because I wasn't forced to be outside the house to work anymore. I wasn't forced to be outside interacting with people that I had, even though I wanted to, it made my skin just feel very uncomfortable. Like if I could talk to them like this, I could do it all day long and I love it. And I love people and I love to write and all, but to physically be around them, I couldn't be myself. I had this brick wall in front of me that I couldn't act as myself because the anxiety stopped me and the nervousness. So when COVID happened, a lot of people are struggling. There are veterans having to be inside places that they're not used to being in, and their lives are calming down, and they're finding it hard. And a lot of people's lives are being lost because of it. But for me personally, it helped me get my life back a little bit more.
Mhm. Mm. And that is true. That's one kind of big thing which I see out of COVID. Yes, there are sadnesses, we have deaths, and for sure, a lot of things which, but there are good things too. Look at the environment is more clean. The things which like family time you were spending, that was priceless. That nobody thought there would be. Now a lot of people working from home, and they can look at after their family and still be able to work. And there are moms who could spend more time with their kids. They don't have to use babysitters, and then they I'm sure they'll still use some, but I'm sure it improved certain dynamics. And so important thing is it kind of broaden our perspective to bring that attention, which we were missing before. And I think that's a blessing out of this. I would say that. Same stands for a lot of work. There were a lot of work for even medical care. We were doing a lot of visit, but now we can do virtual. And people were traveling a lot for visits. Now they can do virtual. That really kind of brought attention to an alternative and another way of looking at this situation or any situation, and try to work with that. So tell us also about when your book will be out.
So our book is out now. An Addict's Journey Home, The Tale of Two Sisters. It's available on Amazon. That one's been out, I want to say 6 months now. It's been out. and it just is the open view of everything that my sister went through. I want to warn everybody there are a lot of triggers in that book. So if you have some personal trauma that you've been through, it may not be something that you want to read because we are very, very open and honest of what she went through. It is a very in depth detail of the things that she went through in her life of addiction and on the streets. So I just want to give that warning. Our next book, Sister Sister Live Show, which is our journey into having our live shows, which are 7 shows a week uh, to build our sister house. We are looking of having that out probably this time of 2021 at the latest. So we just got everything in a place where we can start writing that book. So we are super excited about that one and this journey that we have been on, and we're going full speed ahead. Just today, I was talking to somebody about we've created the business side of it so that it can feed a nonprofit side, and we will start creating that nonprofit side, and hopefully before the summer we will have that physical house and start feeding people. As of right now, she's cooking in her own house. She's going out there and she's feeding people, and all the donations she's taken from her own house and going out there. But hopefully by the summer, we will have a physical location where all this stuff happens and everyone can know where to go when they need a meal, when they need resources, when they need just someone to talk to. You know, just, hey, what's going on? Can we watch a TV show together? That's what we're hoping for by this summer.
Wow, what a great mission you're doing. And, feel free to let me know too, and we'll be happy to air your episodes as well as help you with your nonprofit work and work to run those great projects. We have great interest in those projects, and we as with our TV channel, and we are in 130 countries, and also lot of course presence here on Apple, Amazon, and so forth, will be definitely helping your cause, because that's dear to us, those helping families, and important, especially stories like where really made a difference from nowhere or nobody thought it would, right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, also tell me about how is she doing, by the way?
She's doing good. Mel has been clean for 5, 6 years now,
Hmm.
and she has been just a warrior, just in the trenches with everybody. Um, she has reconnected with all 3 of her children. They're still fighting every day to get that relationship to a better level, obviously, but she doesn't give up. I've never seen her give up. Even on the moments, the times that she overdosed, she didn't give up. She still fought for her life. And and to see her with her grandbaby, she has a granddaughter now, and she has her all the time. And you even see her on our shows sometimes. Anytime Mel's on the camera, you'll see little Linnea there. She's got her a lot, and she's a force to be reckoned with. And I'm telling you, if you are around her and you give her an idea, she runs with it, and it turns into a huge movement. And I love that about her.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for sharing that great story, great success, and it all brings down to attention of all these topics, and which are, I hope we keep working on that and helping the awareness. And those are the stories really interested in highlighting for, I always wondered, where are those people like you who could share that and be a motivating factor for a lot of people who are watching, and then they can learn and follow that lead. So great work, and keep it up. And any final thoughts you have from my audience?
My final thoughts are just believe in yourself. Believe that the light that you have inside of you is there for a reason. Don't extinguish it no matter what. Don't let anyone else try to extinguish it either. You matter. You will always matter.
And that is so true. So, with those great words, I would say, yes, you are special and take care of yourself. And but the best thing is to count those blessings and believe in yourself, and you will make a difference. You have so much power. You have so much power, unbelievable. And but those you don't know till you test them. So keep working on that, and you will find a way. But your direction has to be clear. Should be very clear in your mind. Be positive and keep it up. Keep watching our show. Give us comments, feedback, and so forth. Thank you and take care. Thank you for coming to our show.